This is one of those upgrades that a lot of people skip, and honestly, we almost did too. But it has definitely changed our mindset on how we use the van. Before this upgrade, we were constantly thinking about fuel. Can we make it to the next stop? Do we need to turn around? Is there a gas station ahead? Do they have diesel? Do they have the right kind of diesel? Having to add up math in our heads, figuring out if we were gonna make it. And honestly, these vans, they don't have the best gas mileage. So adding a larger fuel tank and basically almost doubling our size of how much diesel we can carry has been 100% an improvement. This definitely doesn't make the van look any cooler. You can't really even see it. It doesn't make a change to how the van drives, but it makes a change to how you make your decisions, how you plan, opens up new doors to where you can go, more flexibility, longer stretches, and a lot less stress.
So what did we end up getting? We grabbed well, we didn't grab it, we had it installed, the S&B 40-gallon replacement fuel tank. They actually make a 47-gallon, which is ginormous. I believe that the Revel can actually have that tank because I think their gray water tank gets in the way. The nice thing about this tank, it doesn't hang down any lower than anything else on the Revel. But you can see how big this thing is. It goes from way up there. It's that big black tank. And it goes way back here. You can see how huge it is. I think it might be beneficial to get a skid plate for that, just on the off chance that we hit something pokey. We did have this fuel tank installed when the West Coast Overland did our suspension, so we kind of lumped it all into there. They also installed the fuel recalibration module, which we'll talk about in a second, but that was heavily recommended, so we went and did that as well. So what does an upgrade like this cost? Well, all in, we paid around $3,200, which is a pretty significant upgrade. That included parts, labor, and everything involved. This is one of those upgrades you really don't know you need till you've really played around in the van and taken some longer trips.
Yeah, especially like when we did our Montana and Wyoming trip.
When we went to the Bozeman Adventure Van Festival, 90% of those vans had extended fuel range tanks, and we got talking to some people and we're like, why are you doing this?
And one gentleman actually was there for his fuel install on Monday. Definitely was a big deal.
Yeah, and they give us some examples like, oh, when you're traveling in these areas, it's just like super hard to find fuel because, and you're going just huge distances. We do need to talk about heater limitations, and we actually ran into a little kind of, it's not really a gotcha, but it's definitely that we were surprised about this. So the heater down here, this is a diesel heater, and this thing pulls directly from the gas tank itself. You install the gas tank, there's like this module that goes in the hole. Part of that, there's a little tube that goes down, and that's where it sucks the fuel up into this heater. That tube sticking down in that module, it basically does not go all the way down to the bottom. So basically you're not sucking all of your fuel out and running yourself out of fuel. All in the past, we've used our heater a ton in the Pacific Northwest. We've never actually ran into a scenario where our heater cut off because the fuel was too low. And we've been pretty low. I want to say we were quarter tank or down really low, and our heater never cut off. On, I think, our third trip with this new gas tank, it was freezing cold. We had to turn the heater on. It turned on for a second, then I heard it click off. I'm like, oh, that was weird. And I look up and the error code came up that it was basically didn't have any fuel. We were around a third of a tank. Actually, I think it was a little more than a third. And I was surprised that it cut off that soon. So if you're gonna be out in this, have that extended tank and you need that heater, make sure you're at least above half to really be sure. And if you're above half, you have at least 20 plus gallons. These diesel heaters are really efficient and they do a really good job, but we still think, especially if you're gonna be in the backcountry, you should have some kind of backup heat source just to get you out of a bind.
Now we're curious, if you have an extended range fuel tank, when does your heater cut off? We're going to know if it matches kind of what we're experiencing.
Now let's talk about that little programming module. It goes in here, which I'll show you where it lives, but basically the only job for it is to make sure your dash fuel gauge is displaying the correct amount of fuel, and then the miles to empty, making sure that's all correct. Why do you want that? I mean, technically you could probably live without it, but just being able to glance and knowing how much fuel you'll have, we can think is pretty important. The module gets installed right under your driver's section, right under this panel here. Interesting tidbit from the install, when he put in the module, it kind of piggybacks off of that main port. Well, we have a StarGuard system on ours. Part of the dealership puts it in, it's mandatory. Well, when he picked up the Stargard system, he said like the wires literally just fell out of where they were plugged into. They like basically did a terrible job on the install. And interesting on that is he said that's not the first time that's happened.
Some people think that this module is optional, which of course it is, but personally, I want to be able to look at the fuel gauge and see exactly how much I have. I don't want to have to be doing math. What if I screw up? Don't want to be stranded somewhere without any fuel.
Now for the real world impacts, even on the shorter trips, it's actually taken a lot of stress off of us and what extra stuff we have to think about. But we have big desires. We're definitely going to Baja, to Alaska. And I know in Baja for sure, there are some longer stretches where there just isn't fuel. And then even if you get to that fuel station, maybe there's not gonna be. Alaska the same way. There's some huge stretches that you just don't have any fuel. Montana, Wyoming, same thing.
One unexpected advantage to this fuel tank, with how the world is right now and gas prices are astronomical, we can look at Gas Buddy and see where the cheapest prices are, and we know we can make it, especially when you're crossing states. Some places might be a heck of a lot cheaper than where we're at now, and we know that we can be able to make it to that station.
One of the biggest changes we made to the van, if you notice back here up on top, there is no more 5-gallon diesel tank up there. And we actually installed that for our big trip last year when we were going in the Alvord Desert. There was a stretch that was, I think it was around 250 miles. And when the stock tank, you're doing off-road, that puts not a lot of wiggle room. And so we ended up adding that fuel tank up here. Well, now we don't even have a need for it. So we think we're gonna repurpose this as either some kind of storage or maybe we'll bundle some firewood and put it up there. I forgot to mention, we also have a 6-gallon water tank that we have been hauling around up here when we know we don't need fuel, but we technically don't need that anymore because now we have the underslung 28-gallon water tank, so we are flush with water. Now for the downsides, I really don't think there's that many downsides. Well, okay, there's a couple. Cost, it's an expensive upgrade. There's no real getting around that one. We do think that it's not super DIY friendly unless you've got a whole bunch of tools, maybe a lift. I know when they installed ours, they had the van way up high on the lift. They were able to use these big jacks to get our old fuel tank down. Part of the problem with that also is we used as much fuel as we could, so it was lighter for them to get out, but it still had a decent amount of fuel. Then they had to transfer that to the new tank, and just getting that all hooked up didn't look like a super easy process, but if you're super mechanically inclined, you could probably do it. The last downside would be you're potentially adding some more weight to the van. The tank itself is going to be a little bit heavier. You're also potentially adding an extra 20 gallons to your mix, which at 8 pounds a gallon is 160-ish pounds. So that could play into your suspension. You know, is your van able to handle it? Plus, you're actually adding it on the side that has the gray water tank. So potentially if your gray water tank is full, your gas tank is full, your fuel tank is full, this side of the van is going to be significantly heavier than that side.
Do not skip this upgrade, or at least seriously think about it, especially if you're traveling long distances, off-road, or to remote areas. It's totally worth it. And a mega thanks to all of our YouTube members. We really do appreciate it. You can go watch this video next. You can find us at exploretruckadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.